Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today looking at the new mission giver Twitch, Pacheco, and the FPS Weapons in 3.5, as well as a look at R&D on the cave systems and generation, which has me quite excited. This is a summary of Around the Verse depth of character. Twitch Pacheco. So she is a former operative in Blackjack Security, the private police of ArcCorp. She got into an accident and that gave her nerve damage, and she looks like she's got an augmented set of eyes, an augmented or bionic arm. She was let go by Blackjack because of that injury or the nerve damage that she got from it, and she harbours a grudge against them. She's a bit of a badass, a bit angry, and inspired heavily by Blade Runner, apparently. Her hair is totally different from all the other hairs in the game. That sort of like their hair tech hasn't used braids before, so I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work. That hair might not be in 3.5, but Pacheco will be. So they do refer to her as a bad guy. She works with criminals and outlaws, but I think she might just be misunderstood. They actually filmed her mocap and voice lines in 2016 and only got around to using it now. They recently did some character pickups and voice lines for Squadron 42 as well. There's some new weapons in 3.5. They've been working on the Gemini S71 assault rifle. The first weapon aside the sniper rifles that actually has a scope by standard. So it's going to be high precision, quite a long range. The default fire mode is single fire. It doesn't have a full auto mode, but it does have a burst fire, which looks like it fires 5 bullets at a time if the decals on the side of the gun are an indicator. Weapons have appropriate realistic VFX, where appropriate, and on the S71, for example, smoke and light come out of the holes in the muzzle brake appropriately and actually follow it when it sort of like moves around. The Castak Arms Coda is the third pistol they're putting into the game. It has a high damage potential. It's a 6-shooter with big recoil. It's a punchy hand cannon and it ejects its shells casings as they're expended. These weapons are finished now and ready for 3.5. So the exciting thing, R&D on the caves and cave tech they're doing at the moment is still very early, but they showed off some cool bits here. Caves will range in size, and it looks like they have some form of entrance, which sort of like then the rest of the cave is generated from. And they could be large sinkholes in the ground, large enough that you could land a whole ship in, or small little crevices, little nooks and crannies, or large networks of caves. You won't really know until you explore them. Their current R&D for this sort of like cave building process doesn't actually use any new tech. They use the procedural room tech from the stations and truck stops. It's just sort of applied in a different way. They build out shapes and assets for the cave. They include climbables, minables, interesting geometry, whatever they want. Different assets and scenes, props. At the moment, this gives you very clear paths and ways of traversing in the caves. Basically areas of the cave and the assets they make and modular parts of it. They have mapped out roads on there, and they reserve other places for the placement of assets and set dressing, as well as areas that must be kept clear so players can traverse through them. And then they'll also have bits and terrain and scenes that allow you to climb up in certain areas so you can get different parts of the cave. This could lead to single paths or multiple paths, depends on how the cave is generated and the settings they put in before it's generated, and then also on the thread for the cave, and they can just keep on generating similar caves with different threads, and then they can have a different cave every time. A bit of an insight on how they use procedural generation at the moment is that they would potentially generate a large number of caves, say 1,000, then pick the top 3 that they like the look of to put into an area on a planet. This means that you're going to have a huge amount of variety and not much in the way of repetition, if at all. These caves may have you climbing, crawling, or even swimming through certain areas if you wish to explore them in the future, but as I said, very early. I'm expecting to see lots of little nooks and crannies in caves and in the terrain in the future, and these will be used for missions and points of interest, amongst other things. It'll be interesting to see if players can claim caves or their entrances as part of their land claims. Will you be able to build in them as well? There looks like there are plans for minables in them, or at least that's something they've considered in the R&D process. But in this early stage, it looks like they sort of just place an entrance to the cave and then it generates the rest of the cave behind it. So there's a lot of improvement and a lot of work they can do here to make these caves more natural looking, and I suppose they could have ones that are less natural looking. They could have a part cave system and then like a bunker attached to it, stuff like that. The Banu Defender as well has been moved from Alpha 3.5 to 3.6. Hopefully that will be the last casualty to move from 3.5. They said they were still trying to nail down the implementation of the Banu's organic design. They really wanted to make it look and feel good. It is very important. It's going to be the gold standard for Banu ships. Reverse the Verse this week is a game dev special, so they're going to be building a piece of armor live with community guidance, and that's at Friday, 12 PM Pacific time on twitch.tv/StarCitizen. I will try and get a little summary up of that, if appropriate, after it is finished. I'm pretty excited about them doing procedural caves in game. There was some bits that I want to see in the procedural generation of planets, including plants and minables and animals, but also caves were up there, and rivers and roads as well. So hopefully these things are all starting to come together, and we'll see them in due course. We will see caves on the roadmap at some point in the future, but we just don't know when. But please tell me what you think about caves and about everything else we discussed today. Are you excited like I am, or you're like, they're just holes in the ground? Every month we have a ship giveaway. This month, by popular demand again, it's for an Anvil Carrack. This time sponsored by Forgotten Heralds, a lawful private military company with a history grounded in UEE military service. They are recruiting at the moment and are a good choice for both veteran and new players alike. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that Carrack, though, is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen videos made during this month. Links to more info on Forgotten Heralds and full details of the giveaway down below. If you don't have a gaming PC yet, or you are upgrading, instead consider Shadow Cloud Gaming. They allow you to leverage the powers of the internet to stream a high-spec Windows 10 environment to any other PC, Mac, or device like a smartphone or tablet. It is working really well in Star Citizen's 3.4 branch, and be sure to use the code BoredGamer if you do decide to check it out to get a discount. Links below. This channel exists because of its community. If you wish to support the channel further, below there are links to Patreon, Subscribestar, and there's the YouTube channel memberships, literally the join button below this video. VIPs do get some exclusive stuff and early content as a thank you as well. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or just want to say hi, please drop a comment below or poke me on discord.gg/BoredGamer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.